Okay, so I have unwrapped the magazines and now I can show you guys what is in there. So these are all magazines from Taiwan, and we can get them in the United States through a subscription. So you can subscribe to them on the C-STEM's website. And there's actually a lot of different options available, but today I'm just going to show you some of the options that are for lower elementary. So my son is going into second grade, and these are some of the magazines that are appropriate for his age. For Qiaohu, for example, they have a lot of different versions. They have like a baby version, toddler version, and there's like a different magazine for every age, like 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old. And the ones I have here are for first and second grade. So I'm just going to start by showing康轩. So康轩, as you can see, has two versions. There's this one, that's the preschool version, and then that one that's elementary, so first to third grades. So my son used to like this version before he moved on to their elementary version, and some parents kind of asked, why is this preschool version, much more expensive than the elementary version? So I think the answer to that is that in the preschool version, there's a lot more kind of hands-on materials. There's a lot of like manipulatives, and like the pages too are different. So like as you can see, it's really like glossy. Kind of, I haven't tried to rip it or anything, but I think it looks like it might be more, for little hands. There's stickers that you stick onto these pages that are much more sturdy, I would say. So this one's teaching about mixing colors. And then about a chameleon. So there's like science stories. And then this one is more science. And then it teaches Juyin Fu Hao. And this one is a craft, and as you can see, the materials are all included. You just have to like punch it out. And then this is like a short story. So these stories are actually really great. My son used to read these as like a read aloud when he was just like, a beginning reader. So these stories are pretty short, easy reads. Kind of like when you are at that reading bridge book level, these stories will be really good for practice. The font size, as you can see, is really nice and comfortable and easy for little kids to read as well. And then it comes with this CD, Reads Aloud the magazine. This is like my favorite thing about康轩magazine, that reads aloud the CD. So really perfect for like kids to read it independently. Listen to, you don't always need a parent there. They can listen to the CD. So, and then this is like the activity book that came with it. Really nice kind of glossy pages, and then here's the stickers that go with. So this one's teaching about Australia. Really, as you can see, it's very detailed. It covers kind of a lot of good material like science, geography. Look at that. really well done. I am very impressed. It's not like a cheap sticker book. It's really, really like quality material. Really nice illustrations. And then in the back, you have the answers. Okay, so that's this is 康轩学前版. So like I said, the preschool version. And then moving on. This is the Kangxuan elementary version for 1st to 3rd grade. So I really, really have to highly, highly recommend this magazine. This is my son's favorite right now. We go through this like one every day. So we've read like about 30 of them this month and just cannot get enough of this. So we just really super love this Kangxuan magazine. And the unique thing about it is that you get 2 magazines a month, and that is, I think this is the only magazine where you get 2 of it every month. The rest of them is one magazine a month. So I think really that this is a really good deal. And the reason why we love it so much is right here, the CD. So we listen to this in the car. The whole magazine takes about 45 minutes. So like I said, we listen to this in the car daily. And it is very, very well done. So I'm briefly gonna go through how the magazine is. Like each magazine is kind of laid out about the same way. So it starts out with like an article about like science, usually about like plants or animals. Then they always have an article that's about like culture. So like it usually showcases like a unique activity or kind of a landmark in another country. And then this one again is about showing other cultures. So I find this magazine really, really good for kind of opening up the kids' eyes to like the world, really. Different foods. And then there's always a little comic that's either like a math comic or a science comic. And then this one is an article about fish. So then more science. Then after that, a story. Whoa, okay. So the story in this magazine now is, as you can see, much longer, much more wordy than the preschool version. A lot of times too, they'll have a story that's about like a famous person, like Florence Nightingale, or Albert Einstein, and then after that you get so they alternate a little bit. They'll either show like Chengyu, an idiom, or Tang Shi, which is like Chinese poetry. So this, surprisingly enough, the Tang Shi, the poetry one, is one of my son's favorites part of this magazine. And then after that, there's this like health article. And then finally, right at the end of the magazine is my son's favorite. This is the Hongdou Ludou Peng comic. So like Kangxuan really cleverly puts this comic right at the end because I think this is every kid's favorite part of the magazine. comes with this like workbook and like a parent guide. So this workbook is actually like really challenging, I would say. We don't actually use these, but I'll just kind of flip through it so you can see what's in there. Okay, I feel like I don't think I would even know the answers to these. But it works on like writing skills. Okay, so that is康轩. And another magazine that I just started trying recently is this one that's called 未来儿童. So initially I was really intimidated by this magazine because I looked at some of the sample pages online and I was like, whoa, that is like way too hard and we'll never be able to read this in like a million years. But when I actually finally got this magazine and flipped through it, I realized that's actually pretty manageable. Okay, so I guess I freaked out for no reason. So this 未来儿童, it also has audio, but the downside to it is that you have to scan the QR code and only subscribers can listen to this. So like if you just get this magazine from like, if you buy it like secondhand or you buy it from a different website, you won't be able to listen to the audio. So unlike康轩, so for康轩, like, anyone can scan the QR code and listen to the magazine, but not so for 未来儿童. And then this magazine. So the reason why I was kind of intimidated by it at first was because the font is a lot smaller and it seems much wordier compared to康轩. But when I actually started reading it, I realized that the level of writing is actually pretty, about the same level, or sometimes even a little bit easier to understand than康轩. Like I find the writing in 未来儿童, it's in a way that kids and adults who are not that good in Chinese like me can still understand it really easily. So it's really well written. So I think, I'm just gonna flip through it. You can see that the illustrations are really nice. The articles are really interesting too. It's kind of science. Okay, comic. More science. This one's about pee. And then animals. And then another comic, and then like a maze thing that you can do. So, and then this one's a story. No, this one's about culture. I think it's about Japan. A little part that teaches you some English. Some like emotional learning types of things. So something, this one's a craft. Something that I have to mention about 未来儿童 is that it is really thick. Okay, look at this. This is like twice the size of any other magazine. There is so much material in here. So even though, like I said, 未来儿童 just comes once a month, compared to康轩that has 2 magazines a month, I think the level or the amount of material is actually pretty similar, just because this magazine is like really thick. One of my friends, she says this is one of her favorite magazines, or her favorite magazine, because she can just put it in her purse and there's so much material that it'll keep her kids busy and entertained for a very long time. So there's that. And then moving on to Qiaohu. So I was really curious about this Qiaohu magazine because I've never seen first and second grade Qiaohu. So I'm really thankful to C-STEMs for sending me these sample copies so I can take a look at the inside of them. Okay, so first of all, the first grade magazine. So I kind of read the description on the website, and it said that the first grade magazine is mostly to kind of to teach kind of beginning readers to kind of get more comfortable with just starting out to read. And I can really see how they're doing that in this magazine. So, well, let me just show you what it came with. First of all, there's the magazine itself, and then it came with this kind of like a bridge book thing. It's kind of much larger than a bridge book, but you know, if you look at it, it kind of is a simple, not too wordy kind of book for kids, first graders, to read. So, you know, just 1 or 2 sentences, a lot of pictures, and then just the bigger size of the book, and that just makes it a lot easier for kids to read. So this is kind of like a really nice bridge book. Qiaoliang Shu. And this one is like a craft. And then the magazine itself. Okay. So it starts out with like a little comic. And then the theme for this month is poop. So look at all the different kinds of poop. As you can see, I think they do a nice job of picking topics that are really interesting for kids this age, because somehow they all just really love reading about poop and farts. So this one's about how you can make your farts stinkier. And then more about poop. Animal poop. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. And then comic. Non-thinker. Okay, so about a famous person. A little bit about math. Multiplication, it looks like. Another comic, like cooking, more comics. Okay, so I can tell that the difference between this one and康軒is that this one seems to have more comics, which is very attractive to kids. But then as far as I feel like康軒has more different topics in each magazine. So this one, like, it spent like, you know, half the magazine or more than half was talking about poop, whereas in康軒it's like every, you know, 3 or 4 pages it's a new topic. But still, I think, you know. Okay, and then this one, oh my gosh, when I opened this, I just could not believe what was in there. There was so much material. So this is the second grade Qiaohu magazine. I mean, holy cow. Okay, I am so impressed by this. So this all came in the pack for this month, which is April. Okay, so my favorite part of it. This is like a full-size book, and it's about it's comic idiom comics, should I say. And look, I mean, so, you know, for every idiom there's like a comic, there's like sentences. I have not shown this to my son yet, but I mean, he is just going to love this so much. He loves idioms and he loves comics, and we have something similar to this for like Mi Xiao Quan. idiom comics, and he loves those. So these are really fantastic, and there's like Julian for everything. So usually for these magazines, when they give you free books, it's like a very thin book, and this one, I mean, look at it, it's like 170 pages. This is like a full-size book. It's solid. I love it. And then it also came with this, again, another full-size bridge book. So for this second grade, Chiao Hu, they kind of said that it's about kind of developing really good reading skills. So compared to first grade, where it was like just, just starting to learn to read, the second grade Chiao Hu was like leveled up. Okay. So they give out like 4 of these free books, or not free books, but like included with your subscription. 4 of these books that's like translated classics, and it's a solid bridge book. It's not, it's not like a sample like mini book thing. It's like a real, really detailed chapter book. 127 pages, so this is like a really good bridge book series. Like they've translated like the Odyssey, Jurassic Park, and like other like really classic books for kids to read. So, and then this other book, this one's a little bit smaller. It's like a drawing book, super cute as well. Comics again, like all kids love. And then look at this, it's so cute. You learn how to draw like dogs, cats, so on, lions, food. I mean, this is so cute. Okay, just looking at these 3 books that the magazine came with, I am just like in love. And then now, finally, moving to the magazine itself. Right away when I just started flipping this magazine, I was like, like half this magazine is comics, which is fantastic because, all kids just love comics. And this one's like, it's an educational comic. It teaches about like, I have not really looked at, okay, so I guess the theme is plants. So as you can see, the comic kind of tells you about the plants, and then there's the article about it, and then more comic, and then another article, and then more comic, and an article, comic again. So like I said, I think at least half this magazine is comics, which is great. Okay. It looks to me like the entire magazine is about the same topic, which is plants. So it doesn't have, a whole variety of topics in one magazine. So it seems like it's, the theme for the month. They go into a lot of detail about that theme. So the one thing that I think is a slight negative for Chiao Hu is the lack of read aloud. Which I think actually makes a lot of sense because, you can't really read aloud that much comics anyway. It's... Okay, so after looking at all of them, I feel like I love all of them so much. It's so hard to decide what my favorite is. And then, I think every family just has to, try and think about like what your kids like, whether they prefer a certain type of illustrations, you know, whether they love comics or whether they love more like cutesy illustrations or more realistic illustrations. And then for me, you know, for our family, like really we don't do like crafts or that kind of thing that much. You know, my son, he's 7.5, so really we don't, he's not really into like stickers or like those kinds of activity books anymore. So the only thing that for me as a parent, what I really want is the CD that reads aloud the magazine, and then give my son like kind of like a diverse vocabulary and diverse kind of topics. And that's, yeah, I think that pretty much describes康軒magazine, which is why we like love this so much right now. But then I can see that as he gets a little bit older, maybe next year, you know, I think 未来兒童 would be a really good choice. And then as far as for 巧虎, I mean, I am still like so in love with these books. So anyhow, I hope this helps you a little bit with your decision making as far as which magazine would suit your family the best. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. So, bye.